The International Business and Management Studies of Saxion is a program with an international focus and hands-on work experience. The study offers good international career opportunities to a multicultural group of students. The lectures, study books and project assignments are all in the English language. The course is challenging and exciting. However, to succeed in the first year, you have to work hard and keep focused on the study. Besides, for some students, it can be difficult to make the transition to a higher level of education and adjust to living in a foreign country. In this film, we introduce the lecturers of the IBMS program. Additionally, you will follow 6 students who recorded a weekly video to share their study experience during the first semester. The objective is to give you, as a prospective student, a realistic insight into what you can expect in the first year at Saxion. So do you think you can be a Saxion IBMS student?
Yeah, I choose IBMS because I love business and I just love the whole aspect of learning, you know, new cultures, you know, in different countries. I also love to travel.
Last year I quit studying history and I had something to fill it in with.
Learning IBMS will help me to control business and to improve a lot of skills that are necessary for working.
Because I don't really know exactly what I want to do, but I can go anywhere with this study.
Because I was interested in marketing and in business, and I had a student company when I was in Russia.
Personally speaking, I more prefer, you know, electronic engineering, but you know, in China, a lot of traditional family, the kids should follow the parents what they say. They tell you what you do, and you should follow.
Yeah, my future dream job would be working as a manager in some sort of department abroad.
It can be a marketer working in a marketing department of a retail store, you know.
I will be the entrepreneur. I mean that I will open my company.
I don't really have a job in mind yet. I don't know, but I hope I find out here.
I have no idea where I will work.
I would like to stay here to become a businessman.
The IBMS program can be considered as very exciting. Enormous variety of subjects, from foreign languages until cultural subjects, until business subjects, accounting subjects, all kinds of courses you can expect here. And this makes this course challenging, but also very exciting.
You'll be working in an international environment after your studies, so it's important, it's adamant that you speak different languages. So you learn English and 2 foreign languages, either Spanish or Dutch. And well, it will help you find your place in an international trade function.
You can see when someone is highlighted that it is his...
Personally, I think English is very important in the IBMS program, because the status of English has changed from being a second language in the native country to being the means of communication.
You have to work in English, you have to speak in English, you have to dream in English.
So if they have a problem with English, they definitely will not be able to do the exams and read all the study material in English. So when they fail for the first English assignment, sometimes we already know that it's going to be really tough for them, and if they fail a second assignment for English, we might even start advising them to quit the program and consider doing something else.
In my class I have a student, he's from Vietnam. He is actually taking Dutch and Spanish at the same time. And he asked me when he started, will that be difficult? Will there be interference? Can I make it? And I said, well, you can at least try it if you want to. And he's doing so well. He's scoring, for my subject, for example, he's scoring 8s and 9s. which is like A or B. And that's really great. So it's good to see that things like that happen.
You are going to experience different phases related to your capacity to adapt. At the beginning, everything is exciting, positive and new.
I thought that Holland is a country which is surrounded by tulips and windmills. But when I was here, at the first day, I felt I was totally wrong about this country.
At first, Holland is not my first choice, so I didn't do much research about this place.
My first impression about Netherlands were about people, because they're so nice and they're always smiling, and for me it was like very difficult to use to it, because in Russia people are very sad.
The teachers at the first day there, I found them very funny and very friendly. They know how to make the atmosphere more fun and to make the student feel comfortable, and they also give a lot of instruction, detailed instruction how to survive.
I came to Deventer to study because it's way more of a nice city than I used to live in, and I also chose for the good school, of course.
It was a big move, of course. I miss my mom, I miss the food, really miss the food, but yeah, I would eat anything because I'm a natural born eater.
When I first came to school, I thought it was quite big. I wasn't used to such a big building and I got lost, of course. But I got used to it very quickly, and the people were nice and the teachers were very, well, kind of very informal. I like that.
For me it was some kind of difficult to understand the English lectures, but after 1 or 2 weeks it became very usual, and yeah, maybe I understand more than when I arrived.
Moving from St. Martin to Holland, it was a big move for me to settle in, but I like to learn new stuff, so yeah, I was kind of enthusiastic of what is going to happen and what I'm going to go through, so I was just happy.
It was a little bit new to me in the beginning, because I come from the rural country of Holland, the eastern part. And yeah, I'm not really used to all the noises and the lights and the busyness around me. And of course the fact that you're pretty much alone for the first few days.
Students coming from abroad and having to adapt here, and at first having lots of difficulty, especially, for example, students coming from far away, Asia, they have difficulty adapting to the culture, adapting to the language, adapting to the system of education here, because we expect people to be really independent and also work together, of course, but you have to have lots of initiative here. And you have to be able to go to the teachers and ask them questions, and some students have difficulty doing that.
Well, how they experience the group work is always very different, because they come from different countries, different background, different education situation. Proficiency of English is also extremely different from one to another, and they have to work together. So you can imagine if you have one German working with one Italian, with one Vietnamese, one Chinese, and then one person from Thailand, and they have to work together. There's a huge culture shock, if you like, in terms of understanding each other, communicating with each other, working in the same way. And that is pretty tough, because they've never done that before. Most Asian students come here without any project work experience, group experience. So it's something that they have to get familiar with, and it takes a while before they get into it.
I see many differences in the levels of English, but mostly in the type of skills they have acquired during their previous type of education. So for instance, Asian students in general have a very large vocabulary of words. They're quite good in reading, but they have less experience in the active speaking skills.
As time passes, you will feel the pressure to comply, and you won't always know how to solve your problems. Your mood will change, as well as your motivation. It will be high time to make use of the comprehensive range of services Saxion offers, such as the library, the audio center, the digital environment, or even professionally trained counselors. Last but not least, the staff is there to help you through these unsettling times.
At the first 2 weeks, I just knew some guys which is from my group and some Asian guys. Because I guess I'm too shy to communicate with other foreigner students. The reason might be I thought there's something different with our culture, so I don't know how to communicate with them.
It is a lot more work than I thought beforehand, before going to IBMS. A lot more time to put in. It's not that the work is really difficult, but it's just really a lot in a small amount of time, so it takes a lot of energy.
The studying so far is getting harder and harder. There's so much homework, and the projects that we do in group work is getting harder and more work to do. We have to find more information to support our work, and people get frustrated.
Like this week it was pretty hectic, to be honest, because I think I made about 70 hours already and it's only Friday.
The energy that I take to study is a lot.
I spend about 3 hours per day for studying besides the lecture hours, but sometimes we need to do some articles or projects, so I spend more hours at home for studying.
School helps us a lot. It provides us with information on how to plan time management, also management subject, and they are really willing to help us make it through, especially the first school year, because the first year is supposed to be the toughest. So that's nice, because the teachers, they really show that they want to help you and they want you to make it. They really do show that, and they really put a lot of effort in it. They make special booklets and special plannings for you to help you.
A normal working week stands for 40 hours. You will get there, absolutely. You have to use this fully workload of 40 hours, including of course the lectures, including homework and doing assessments, etc., etc.
And that's what they should spend. So when students don't arrive in class at 8:30 in the morning because they had a party, they miss the class, and then they miss the connection with literature, they miss the feedback from the teacher, and they get behind.
It's really hard work, especially when you came from secondary school and you didn't have to work that hard. Then you find out that this is really university-like, right? And but the ones who survived, we have lots of students who just pass the first year and get their foundation year diploma just right after. They say it was hard work, but it was doable.
It's a quite cognitive-oriented course, because students have to learn, really have to learn technical details. They have to know advantages, disadvantages of different research techniques, etc.
My advice would be to study on a regular basis, so start at the beginning. First day, start reading your books, try to understand the theory in relation to the project or in relation what you see on television or read in the papers.
The course itself is in the first semester around 1.5 hours, and I think if you prepare around 5, 6 hours, 7 hours, then you will prepare it well. And then you don't have that much to do before your examination. If you wait up to the last week, then you get a problem, because then you have to train yourself with all the difficulties in the actions within the company.
There are a lot of deliverables, there's a lot of pressure during the year, and you really have to work hard to be able to keep on track.
I think the workload for the English course is really acceptable. Students might feel different or experience it differently, but that's because it's content integrated. So to write the very first English assignment, which is, I would say, only 5 pages, is not a very big assignment, but you can't really write it without having studied the books for macroeconomics and law, having attended those lectures, etc., etc. So they might feel that it's quite a heavy workload, while in fact I'd say you would have to attend these lectures anyway for the other courses.
Social life besides school is very important. There are plenty of opportunities to take time off from studying.
I submit assignment, I do good homework, and at the weekend I travel to some places in Holland or to another country.
I spend about 7 hours per week for sports, for running or going to the gym, and I think I spend about 4 or 5 hours for movies.
I'm noticing finally that I have some more free time. I actually had the time to watch a movie with my boyfriend on the couch another night, so...
Eventually you will understand what you have to do to function and perform optimally as a student.
I'm quite sure that I will make it, that I will do 48 credits in by the end of this year, because in my opinion it's not very difficult if you study, if you read books, you can do it.
The study is going good. The subjects are still good to manage and to follow.
The homework, I'm supposed to do the self-studying. I'm supposed to follow the deadline, to submit it on time, and to do more reading outside the class, beside the lectures, and also prepare for the subjects before coming to class.
Well, I'm happy, but I'm still a bit anxious. I'm still not completely sure about everything. Yeah, well, I'm sure about that I want to do this, but not how I'm doing it. I'm not sure, like, if I'm really doing well.
So far, what I find difficult with the study is studying. I always had a problem with it. I never had like a really specific type of method that I always use to study, you know, and coming to this study, it needs, you gotta study.
Can I survive in the first year of IBMS? Well, for this moment, I don't think so, because I feel like I'm gonna, I am in a hopeless place right now.
It's very important to have a good planning and to have written down what you have, all of the things you have to do, because if you don't, you just lose your overview of what to do and when to do it, and you'll just forget things because there's no way you can remember everything.
My agenda, as you guys can see, is always, every week so far is, just planned out, and even further break. Gotta love it.
Now what they have to do is they have to work in a group, evaluating data, for instance. In the first semester they do an export plan. So then they have to investigate for a real company possibilities to go and do export in a country that we give them in advance. It could be any country depending on the assignment. It creates a very challenging environment to work in a group because you can't escape it. It's something that you have to learn to do. And that later on is going to be very useful for them, because when they work for companies with international connections, then having had this experience of working again with somebody from very different cultures is going to be an advantage to them.
During the study, you're not alone. Teachers and staff are there to support and motivate you through the process.
I still can understand everything in the lectures and almost everything what I am reading in the books, and if I have any problems I can ask teachers, or everybody can help.
It's more than a study, you know. Study and includes all the people, all like my classmates and the teachers. Well, the teachers, of course, you know, they motivate me, and you know, to they make me like the study more and more, you know.
No, they're really here for you, and if there's anything you want to ask her, you don't know, or whatever, the teachers are there.
There will be regular exam periods. You will pass as long as you're well prepared.
Having exams next week and next week, so of course I have to have a plan for it. I think that yeah, like I will set up this day for this subject, this day for the other subject, and I have to prepare like at least like 5 or 6 days before.
I can understand everything, but sometimes I cannot explain something, and in exams I think it will be very difficult for me to interpret what I already know.
In recent time, I've accumulated lots of pressure because of the preparation of the exam.
This week is exams, so it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday exams, and then for the rest there's no lectures or anything, so I'm at home studying, do some groceries in the meanwhile, and study.
What we aim is letting students be responsible for their own development, and we have different skills like building up your own network is very important for professionals, but you can start during your studies learning to learn, learning to look at your own career, your own study path.
Now, personal development is a critical part of their study. Why is it so critical? Because they actually understand what they want to do later on, and the diploma itself is not going to help them so much unless they know exactly what they want to do. So we put a lot of emphasis on finding out, actually not so much what they can do, but what they want to do. This makes a huge difference. As soon as you know what you want to do, then you have the motivation basically to get out of bed in the morning.
And also, well, how to learn to look around you, how to cope with cultural differences, with what is happening in the world. You're also, well, more or less forced to get interested in the world around us.
In order to pass, you need to be disciplined in all aspects of your study. This means being present at all lectures, planning your workload efficiently, and meeting deadlines.
First week that I came back from my hometown, to be honest, I did not want to come back to school at all at the first time, because there were still many things that we haven't done for the final report.
I don't like to skip lectures because it's the essential part to prepare for your exams, and yeah, I'm trying to go to every lecture.
A lot of things change here. I'm different a lot. No, I'm just different in the way I arrange things in the house, arrange things in the way I work. I'm different, more structure.
A lot needs to be done in just a couple of days, so of course things haven't turned out the way I planned, but they actually never do. But still, I'll just do my best and hope for the best. We'll see how it turns out. I am quite anxious, I am quite nervous, and stressing out and knowing that I have so much to do and then I don't have any discipline to do it, or like, oh, I can wait one more day and damn it.
However, it is a very interesting and exciting course. A lot of students quit this course. That's absolutely true. I cannot, well, go around this subject. For instance, about 50% is not making it in the first year.
That is a direct consequence of them not having the right language skills. Because if you can't read the study material, if you can't speak it properly while you're doing all of these projects together with other students, of course you will fail.
There's a relation between the dropouts and how energetic they are doing their personal development.
We have a high level of dropouts because, in my opinion, students are not prepared well for their exams. And what I told them, and that's old-fashioned of course, I ask them always to prepare to read the text before, to make the homework, and then come to classes. Then you can ask intelligent questions.
However, a lot of students think this is an interesting course, and this is a course for them, studying business, but finally find out that it's not.
Do I have any explanation why only 50% of IBMS pass first year? I think that the only reason is they don't work hard enough.
I also passed English, oral defense, and the plan of action. So that means I got the 6 credits for this project.
Yeah, some exams I didn't pass, so I have some problems and some issues with everything. But yeah, I'm trying to be really calm, and my parents are helping me a lot.
Because actually this is my second time, you know, doing a bachelor study, you know, so it's gonna be kind of I'm gonna feel it, but yeah, if I don't get a next study, then of course the plan C and the last plan is I have to get a job.
I don't think it should be a problem for me to obtain the 48 mandatory credits to pass the first year, but I really hope I'll get the 60 credits to get my ProProduce in the first year. That would be really nice, and I think I am capable of doing so. Cross my fingers.
I'm sure that I will pass, but I'm not sure that I will stay.
Yeah, I really want to stay in school, you know. I really want to get my bachelor's in business, you know, so I think I might go further.
I have goals and plans, and I need to achieve it. I want to achieve it. I want to pass this year, and also I want to attend the honor program, so I need to have sufficient credits.
IBMS at Saxion prepares you for a dynamic career in international management and business. You will develop yourself, discover new horizons, and embrace an ever-changing world. Do you have what it takes to be a Saxion IBMS student? If you think you have the drive, the motivation, and the English skills, then we look forward to welcoming you at Saxion IBMS. Step up to Saxion.